Today, we're going to take a look at poetry. First, what is poetry? Poetry is a form of writing that uses words, patterns of sounds, known as rhyming, imagery, and figurative language to convey a message. A poem is broken down into stanzas. A stanza is basically the paragraph of a poem. They hold one idea, or one step, to the overall poem. You might already know about stanzas from music. They're similar to a verse. Poems are broken into two pieces. The topic of what the poem is actually written about, that's literal. The image or figurative language that expresses the main topic in an interesting way, so that's more like the theme. What is a stanza? A stanza is what a poem is built off of. A stanza is a grouping of lines that are together without an extra space as a break. A stanza is basically the paragraph of a poem. It's going to hold one idea or one step to the overall poem. So without even reading it, if I'm looking at the first example over here, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stanzas. In the second example, I can count 1, 2, 3 stanzas. So it's like 3 paragraphs due to those breaks. However, at the bottom, I could see a poem could be 1 stanza. Next, what is a rhyme scheme? A rhyme scheme is a pattern in which the sounds of words reappear. This is much like a rap song. The last word of the sentence establishes the rhyme scheme. So, the first time through, it'll be A. If a word rhymes with A, it is also an A for the rhyme scheme. When there's a different word to end the line, it'll become B. When a word rhymes with that too, that also becomes a B as well. This applies to any word. It could become the C, D, and so on. All rhyming words fit into a scheme. The most common rhyme schemes are the ones found to the right. So the first one is ABA. So without reading the poem, we could see red, blue, head, U. So red is A. It rhymes with head, so that would also be an A. Violets are blue with thinking of you, so it would also be B. The next most common type is AABBCC. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like them in a boat. I do not like them with a goat. I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. Notice the rhyme is immediate. Ham, am, they rhyme, so they're both A's. Boat, goat, they rhyme, but they don't rhyme with ham and am, so they're B's. Down here, house, mouse, they don't rhyme with ham or boat, so they're both C's. We could also have crazy, wacky type of rhyme schemes. Notice this rhyme scheme to the right does not repeat immediately. Sometimes it comes what feels like at random. But some of the rhyme schemes will establish themselves in different ways. So if we look at the last word, moon, June, whisperspoon, fear, lettuce, us, menace, disappear. Moon, June, whisperspoon, all end with an A. They all have the same sound. Fear doesn't sound like lettuce, us, or menace, but it does sound like disappear. So it's the next word to end the line, so it's a B, and it rhymes with disappear. Next, lettuce, us, menace all rhyme, so they're C's. It appears in the way that they appear in the poem. Most importantly, what the poem is about. In poetry, the writer is saying one thing, but actually means another most of the time. There are two parts of the poem. What the poem is talking about literally, so that's the subject, and what they are talking about actually, so that is the theme or message. Like in an argumentative essay, you can have a claim that the poem means whatever you believe it does. However, just like argumentative, you need to support it. So, reading the poem called Diving Board. Diving Board. You've been up on that diving board, making sure that it's nice and straight. You made sure that it's not too slick. You've made sure it can stand the weight. You've made sure that the spring is tight. You made sure that the cloth won't slip. You made sure that the bounce is right and the toes can get a grip. And you've been up there since 5:30 doing everything but dive. So, literally, this poem is about a boy on a diving board. We can speculate why he hasn't jumped, but all we know for a fact, the boy's on the diving board and he's done all these activities to get it prepped. If I want to think what it's about, or what the message is, I start to think, I think it's about preparing for something but not going through with it. My evidence is, he doesn't dive, but look at all the things he does instead. Next, it could be about understanding your fears. Since he doesn't want to dive, he tries to understand it by doing all of these things. Notice for both, I have my evidence to support my claim. So, overall that is poetry. It's a different form of writing that uses different and more interesting ways to get the reader's attention. Ultimately, we're going to talk about one thing, but actually imply another. We have a theme or main idea that's going to come across in a new and exciting way.